Hey guys, do I have a story that stinks like hell? It came to my attention on Thursday from my sister, and she asked me if I had read about the family that drowned in their pool. 3 people all drowned at the same time: a mother, a grandfather, and an 8-year-old daughter. The mother was Nisha Patel, and she worked for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and oversaw a $17 billion project. And I said sad, but sounds about right. Have to have their sacrifices. When was the accident in the pool? It says if it was Sunday, it has meaning to it. And she said it was Monday. I'll keep going on here so I can show you. She said Monday the 22nd. And I said drowned on Monday or found on Monday. She says, I think drowned and found on Monday. I said interesting. And I really didn't look too much more into the case. I just thought, okay, it is what it is. And then she had mentioned that the pool was, part of it was 7 foot deep. And she's like, and it was an above ground pool. Have you ever heard of that? And I said, no, ask mom. And I ended up Googling it. And yes, there are pools that can be 3.5 feet on each side and 7 foot deep in the middle, and it's a sports pool. So the story kept coming to my mind. I'm just like what was going on? So I Googled it, and let's go there. Okay, so the first story I found on Google didn't match this article. It was your basic information that we just went over. So I kept clicking to look for other articles, and this one is where it started to get interesting because obviously this is the pool, and the family drowned in an above-ground swimming pool, Clearview Road in East Brunswick, New Jersey. Now, I want to also say they'd only lived there for 20 days, okay? And none of the people could swim. I thought, odd. I mean, I guess weirder things have happened, but why would you buy a house with a pool and not be able to swim? And you get it ready and maintained to get in? I don't know, it was just strange. So I'm reading on here, and it's suspicious. I'll link the article. You guys can read it on your own, but I'm going to get to the part where I thought, what in the fuck is going on? As I was talking to you guys and scrolling on here, that really jumped out and made this case seem sketchy. It's not here anymore. So I'd sent it to a few people, the article. And so I went to go get the article off the text that I'd sent, and thank God it's still there. I screenshot it. They changed this freaking thing. They changed it. This right here. The aunt who witnessed the ordeal was able to reach the young girl in the water, but not soon enough to save her life. They fucking changed the article, guys. Okay, so here's one. I'll show you the next one. Okay, even the articles that I sent to Megan. Okay, even the article that I shared with my sister and Megan, it's changed. Like I go to click on the article that I sent them, and it's changed to what we just saw. Now this I screenshot. Thank God I screenshot it, and I sent it to my sister because I was like, wait a second. This jumps out at me. Here we go. As the aunt continues calling for help, the girl's mother jumps in to try and save both her daughter and the man. The source told News 4, but she also didn't know how to swim and struggled. The aunt who had been trying to get help went in the water and was able to reach the child. She was able to swim, okay? But not before the young girl drowned. This is a devastating day for the entire community. This is the thing. The story is as bizarre as it gets, okay? And it stinks like hell. Okay, I didn't realize they were going to change the article, so that kind of threw me for a loop. Because this is kind of a complicated story, so I'm trying to keep it all pieced together so it can make some kind of sense. But is the story just a simple story? So let's just tell it like the media wants us to hear it. A little girl drowns in her pool. She either jumped in or she fell in, okay? And the aunt The only one that knew how to swim was yelling for help on the deck while the grandpa comes out, jumps in the pool, not knowing how to swim to save his granddaughter. The mom of the 8-year-old then comes out, jumps in the pool, not knowing how to swim to save her dad and to save her daughter. The end. The police rule it accidental. Huh? I mean, even trying to tell you guys that story, it sounds insane. It doesn't make any sense. If the aunt knew how to swim that was on the deck, that jumped in to get the little girl after she passed, why didn't she just initially jump in instead of screaming for help and get the little girl? Or when the grandpa came out, why wouldn't he have grabbed like your pull brush or your pull bug scraper and pulled her closer and then grabbed her up? Why would he have jumped in the water? My grandma doesn't know how to swim. My grandma would have never jumped in water to save anyone. That may sound heartless, but it's the truth. You're not going to risk your life trying to save someone when you know you would drown as well. There would be no saving anyone. Now, in 2015, at our pool, our in-ground pool that we had, our nephew jumped in, and it was a sports pool as well. 3 foot to, was it 6 foot, 5 foot? Doesn't matter. Middle part was a little bit deeper. And my husband's grandma was in town from Pennsylvania, and she was sitting out there. I was inside, and Pat went to the bathroom. He comes back out. His grandma does not know. And his nephew was drowning. And she's like, I didn't know what to do. I can't swim. That's a normal reaction. You're not going to jump in the water if you don't know how to swim to try to save someone. It makes no sense. You wouldn't do that. And the fact that the only one that knows how to swim didn't get in to get the little girl is suspicious. So, moving on, I start looking more into it. And after my sister had mentioned the thing about the mother and the foundations, I go to Twitter, okay? And I got a lot of my information from Tommy G on Twitter. He discusses it, and then you go through there and other people commenting and other people finding out shit to corroborate that this is a fucked up story. Now, just to cover my own ass here, I am not suicidal. I do not plan on hurting myself. I had an attempt with fate on May 30th when I fell down my stairs and cracked my head open. I'm not looking to try to tempt fate again. I am not suicidal, okay? Now, if I'm telling you I'm not suicidal, probably means I'm going to be mentioning a few people's names that seem to be associated with suicides. Epstein didn't kill himself. Leave it there. Okay, so this is absolutely my opinion, my narrative on this story by researching it and just coming up with my own opinions. I'm not saying there's any fact to what I say, so do the research yourself, okay? Got that out of the way. Again, the only one that could swim was the one screaming for help, but didn't get in and get the little girl until after she was deceased. What a mystery. And I already told you, the family had just moved in 20 days before this accident happened. And another interesting part, there were other people that were inside the home when this accident happened. So it's a family that all lives together. Let's look at this to show you who else was inside the property. I'm assuming. It's not clear how the day went leading up to the accident. But at 4:18 p.m. on June 22nd, 911 was called by a neighbor, not the aunt. At least we haven't heard that the aunt called 911 yet. Reading the new New York Times article, though, it states the aunt was calling. It didn't say she called 911, was calling. Pisses me off they changed the article, okay? And so the family was discovered dead by law enforcement at 4:50 p.m. What a huge time frame, huh? I'm not saying law enforcement getting there would have saved them, but wow, what a huge gap of time. And I could play the clip of the police officer, but I guess the call came in as a fall. Now, let's remember, I just fell May 30th down my stairs. It didn't take the cops longer than 6 or 7 minutes to get here, and I was a fall. So 30 minutes to get to these people's house in New Jersey. I mean, I guess 3 minutes less than 30 minutes. That's a long frickin' time for law enforcement to arrive from a 911 call. Maybe that's normal in that area. I don't know. Okay, so now this is where things are going to begin to get really complex. Okay, so the 32 or 33-year-old women, articles have both said 32, and then one has said 33. Nisha Patel, like my sister had said in the text, had worked for the Bill Gates Foundation, oversaw $17 million worth of federal grants, whatever. I guess she was a U.S. program officer. However, supposedly this is debunked because there is a lady on Twitter claiming to have the same name and stating that it's actually her that works for the Bill Gates Foundation and that she's alive and well, but appreciates all the condolences if she had passed. So I digress on that. We're not going to dig in much more on that because if someone's saying they're alive and that it's them, so be it. The next one is the grandpa, Bharat Patel. Here we go. Okay, so I just tried to go to my Twitter to find Bharat Patel's Twitter page and not able to find it. There are a lot Bharat Patels, but anyways, luckily I took a screenshot. Nowadays you have to screenshot anything because things disappear and things change. So here is his Twitter, okay? And pharmaceuticals professional, Next Gen MD. Fairleigh Dickinson University, guessing that's where he works. And it's in the same city as the Bharat Patel that drowned, okay? And he experience here, CEO, Next Gen MD. And the president of Theragen Pharmaceuticals, 1994 to 2011, 17 years. I mean, wow. And he, January 2012 to the present, CEO of Next Gen MD. Well, Next Gen is a familiar word because it has ties to Billy Gates and, go figure, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Now, to just be fair, there is another Twitter page with the same name, except for this is in Tacoma, Washington. But what's interesting is this Bharat is also the CEO of Next Gen MD. So there's a connection. It's the same person. And if someone's trying to do something to clean this shit up, and it's what's also interesting, there's no picture. I don't know. Okay, so we're going to move on and see where he has done some volunteering, follow the money, and that's what I told my sister, probably money motive. If you would just Google Next Gen, it doesn't just pop up with Bill and Melinda Gates. And that's what's interesting. It pops up with a hair product. But if you have heard of Next Gen, you know it's the next generation information. So you do Next Gen Gates Foundation. And now we're in to the cream of the crop. Okay. So here you go. Next Generation Learning, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And this is who he worked for. Okay. And I'm just going to go out on a whim and say all this information that's been found about Bharat, if it is all a coincidence, holy shit. I mean, too many things are just not adding up for it to all be a coincidence. But again, you know, I don't know. Okay, now we're going to move on to Mr. Patel's volunteer services. And this place is really hard for me to say, but it's Ekal the Dahlia. I can't pronounce it. Let's look at this place. Okay, here is his volunteer service, his volunteer experience. And it's wonder if that's supposed to say executive, but it's spelled wrong. I don't know. Executive Vice President, Execute Vice President of, I can't pronounce it. I already tried once. You guys can see it here. And since January 2001 to the present, 19 years and 6 months of education. Wow. Long time, right? Let's move on to the next pick. It gets more interesting. Stay put. Okay, at first seeing his volunteering, seems harmless until you see a name that is tied to the same foundation, and children are involved. Imagine that. This commitment will build 1,000 primary schools in rural Indian communities throughout partnerships with, again, the weird word, foundation. The schools will be one teacher, non-formal education center based on the needs of the village, the children and their families. Boy, those Clintons, right? So, all right, here's the website for this people's movement, this foundation. Okay, and then so you look up the school's name, the Ikal Foundations, and you put in Clinton's next to it. And let's go back. I didn't mean to hit that. It's fucking touchy. Let's just do this, since it doesn't. Okay. Foundations, Clinton's, the community school in India, the Clinton Foundation. Interesting, isn't it? Always got to involve children. But here it is. Clinton Global Initiative. I am not moving this, so something is probably checking in on us. But yes, the Clintons are involved with the same foundation as the grandpa that passed away from drowning. And also has tie to Billy. Isn't that interesting? So it's a sad, tragic case that happened, especially to an 8-year-old little girl that has nothing to do with anything. The amount of information found on the grandpa is eye-opening, considering that there is a trial in September with Hillary. I don't know how many more suicides will be coming up. Only time will tell. Like, subscribe, share, or don't. I'll see ya.